you've ever asked yourself, how can I get the swing and the golf game that I've always imagined without trying every tip, every training aid, watching every video after video on social media, then this podcast is for you. Welcome. I'm Daniel Guest, and welcome to the Imagine Golf podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Imagine Golf and PXG. All right, welcome back. Today is FORE Friday, 4 Minute Friday. 4 straight still. I'm starting to think this bad back knee that I need a knee replacement for is starting to become a positive or an asset as for whatever reason, man, I'm not hooking the ball anymore. So I don't have as much power, but the ball's going straight. It's drawing probably like a nice little 5-6 yard draw back to the target without crossing the line. So for now, with a little bit of ice after every round, I'll take it. Shot a 75 on a virtual, really difficult course the other day. So excited about that. So listen, here's a day or today's a day, I should say, where we give you a tip, a tool, a strategy, something you can take with you today, right now to the course without really changing your game or your swing. And we do it in 4 minutes or less, starting now. Um, Today, look, I see this every day. I know I say that a lot, but we're talking about power, right? Specifically, how to load it, how to store it, and how to unleash it without leaking energy like all over the tee box, right? And it comes down to almost one specific move for a lot of people, right? And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, sure it does, right? But um, it really does. Look, I want you to picture this common fault first, right? You want to hit the ball hard, so you take this big giant backswing, but as you're turning, your weight slides per se, like to the outside of your back foot, right? Your back knee, if you're right-handed, it's your right knee, bends a little bit, or bows a little bit, I should say, or bends and bows, right? Your weight rolls over the outside of your toes, and you're stuck, right? You may not feel stuck, but you are in fact stuck, right? You've swayed. You have no more tension. You have no more torque. You have no way to push off towards the target or toward the ball. And essentially, you've disconnected yourself, right? Not only from your swing, but from the ground, all right? And at Imagine, we always recommend Ben Hogan's 5 fundamentals for a reason. It's just an amazing book on essentially the forefather of all golf instruction as it is today. But he talks about just this, right? He talks about it in one of the chapters, right, where he says, look, and by the way, Hogan was definitely, I don't want to say he's obsessed, but let's just use the obsessed word, right? He was obsessed with lower body action, meaning he described the backswing as like the winding up of the upper body against and or like resisting the lower body, right? Twist and resist, right? So one of the things he used to talk about in the book is, and everything he did, right? But he would talk about like a visualization as imagine. Like, can you imagine that your back leg or your right leg is a solid post? And he would say, look, you should feel the weight strictly on the inside of that right foot, specifically the inside of the heel, and visualize the right knee pointing in slightly at address and maintaining that inward point as we turn to the top, right? So that's a lot to say, but it really isn't, right? Keep the weight on the inside. He talks about engaging the muscles I'm doing air quotes and touching the inside of my calf and the inside of my knee and the inside of my thigh, right? Engage those muscles, right? And when you twist, keep that engagement there. That's really it. Try not to let that stiffness or that engagement or that feeling of those muscles being engaged, right? Dwane, right? Or dissipate or whatever, right? Why is this so important? Well, first and foremost, it creates a brace. The weight on when you keep weight on the inside of your leg, you prevent that sway. You force your hips to turn or rotate and not slide. Secondly, it builds a coil. I want you to think of a spring. We talk about it all the time with our students. If you twist a spring, but let the bottom of that spring move, you create no tension. But if you hold the bottom of that spring tight, that would be your back foot, and then twist the top, you create a massive potential for energy. And the third thing that why it matters is because it creates a trigger and or transition. When your weight is loaded on the inside of that foot at the top, you are in a perfect athletic position to push off or use the ground and drive laterally towards the target. Okay? That's it. Three things. One, it creates a brace. Two, it builds a coil. And three, it triggers the transition, right? I'm going to give you a really quick, simple drill that you can do. It's called the doorstop, and I'll drop a video link in the bottom of the show notes so you can check it out. Right. So you want to feel this weekend. Well, first of all, here's what you do: the doorstop. You take your setup. Imagine there's a doorstop wedged underneath the outside of your back shoe. Right. So in other words, almost like a V underneath your side of your right foot. As you swing to the top, feel like you're driving your back heel down and into that turf, right? I've also done things like cut a tennis ball in half, right? That's no easy task, by the way. But if you cut a tennis ball in half, tilt your foot to the left, your rear foot to the left, and put that tennis ball underneath your foot. As you go up to the top of your backswing, you're going to notice that the more tension you put on the outside of your foot, the more you'll step down on that tennis ball, right? But at the very top of your swing, right, you should feel a distinct tightness in your right glute, your right thigh, right? And even in your lateral muscles on your side. That is the stored power that you need. If you feel loose, if you feel, I don't know, floppy, that's not a good word, but floppy, if you feel easy right at the top, so there's no tension, you likely have rolled to the outside or swayed, right? That's it, right? There you have it in 4 minutes or less. I just taught you how to hit bigger, stronger irons, how to hit longer, more penetrating drives, and how to feel your body do the right thing, right? Coil instead of sway. That's all you need to do. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the green. All right, then. That's today's podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the follow button wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check out our site, imaginegolf.com. Check out our YouTube page at Imagine Golf, and we're on all the social media platforms. I'm the same at Imagine Golf. And here's to getting you the swing and the game that you've always imagined. Hey, Daniel here. Look, let's be honest. We all have that one golfer in our one or two golfer in our lives who is one bad round away from throwing a club, snapping a shaft, or even worse than yet, buying new clubs for a bad golf game. Or maybe even that golfer is you. This holiday season, stop guessing and start getting better. Right now at Imagine Golf, we're offering up to 20% off all golf lessons and gift cards through the end of the year. Whether it's a single tune-up or a full season transformation, give the gift of lower scores and more fun on the course this year. Because at the end of the day, a better swing lasts way longer and a better game than just a box of balls. Visit imaginegolf.com today and grab your gift cards and save. Imagine Golf, because golf just doesn't have to be that hard.